Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear Workshop. My name is Pat Bear and I'm here to begin a model kit build. I'm also here to hang out with all of you, and I'm going to start things off by throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. You can use other people's emotes, and if you feel like just being a lurker and you don't want to say anything at all, well, feel free to do that. That's totally okay. It's a Saturday. I got a new model kit, the GM3. We're going to work on that. It's a cool looking kit. I believe this is from 2011, I want to say. I'm going to look at the instruction booklet here. Yes, the 2011 kit. Hello, Lashbrook. Now, as I always say, I can't tell you when the plastic was made. It was most likely made after 2011, and this is a reissue, but the design is from 2011, even if the plastic is maybe a little, younger than that. I should also say, speaking of subscribers, we're currently at 22 subscribers. I'd love to get to 30 subscribers. That's my current goal. And if I hit that goal, then until those subscribers go away and I drop below 30, I shut up about it. I take the notification away. I want to make this clear. I don't jump to 40 subscribers. I don't go, hey, we hit 30. Now our goal is 35, or now our goal is 40. None of that nonsense. I used to watch a streamer who did a bit where they would say, oh, thanks so much for the sub. We're now at 58 subscribers. And of course, our goal is 59 subscribers for the day. Great. We just got a gifted sub. We're now at 59 subscribers. Of course, our goal is 6. And they understood it. It was a joke. But I was like, I don't love that joke. Because what if you did come in and you were like, oh, they're going for 71 subscribers today. Yeah, sure. All right. And then you're like, oh, that was just a bit. Okay. John says, no nonsense sub counting. Indeed. Thank you so much. 47 months. That's so many months. Let's throw the Bear Cave Lego site Tier 2 blue emote in the chat and thank John for using Prime. I appreciate you for using the Prime, John. That helps me out quite a bit there using your Prime token. I'm going to throw some emotes into the chat and I encourage y'all to do the same. Yeah, so yeah, we're making some progress tonight. We're doing some things and things. Let's go to the overhead camera. Why don't we? And I already took out these things for the GM3 just to get started here. I did say my wife and I share an Amazon account, says John, and so she explicitly told me I didn't accidentally use the Prime. So you can give it to Pat. Awesome, I appreciate that. That saves. Hey, guess what? That saves both you and your wife, one, neglecting to help out anyone, and two, that bit of cash money because you use your Prime token. So everybody wins. And by everyone, I mean specifically me, because number went up is 23. That one, yeah. It's over there because it's not above me. It's over there. 23. Like that. Oh, no. Yeah. Wait. 23. It's 23 out of 30. You get it. Anyway, let's start working on this model kit. I just knocked the poly cap off the table and I don't know where it went. I went like that and then it flew and I literally don't know where it went and now I have to find it because this poly cap is an arm won't fit into this kit if I don't find where that polycap just went, but it did fly, so now I get to look for a polycap. Luckily, it's not that small, so I should be able to find it. Let's see, is it on the floor? It is. I found it. Reach. I found it. Everything is okay. Everybody fucking relax. Everything's all right. This is wild energy for me to have today, considering that I woke up this morning and went outside and for the first time this year mowed the front yard. I took an allergy pill. I wore my mask. And I still took a nap today. My allergies in South Carolina have gotten worse. And it's not just because the pollen is worse down here, because it fucking is. You can just, Like when I go for this last couple weeks, when I go for a walk, I would come back and my black sneakers would be covered in green, and it would be very obvious that that was all pollen. It's fucking bad down here. And New York has the benefit of, well, one, it rains a lot more in New York City than it does around these parts. So that automatically helps. And two, there are far less trees in every neighborhood I lived in New York, except for one, had far fewer trees than this neighborhood here in South Carolina. When I lived in Inwood, which is barely New York, barely Manhattan, I used to say, 207th Street subway stop, and then you have to walk a bit. That area had a forest right near it, the National Forest. And so there was a fuck ton of pollen that would get in the air and just mess up your whole goddamn day sometimes. So that was the worst it was ever for me in New York the year I lived in Inwood. But every other location, I did not run into trouble. But down here, it's bad. So I already have a pollen allergy. And then you're adding in grass coming up from mowing, and it's just like, oofed. I had to take a nap. So the fact that I just had some weird, somewhat frantic energy right now, I'm very surprised. This was I should say this. This was a kind of funny thing for me. Not kind of funny, the brand, a sort of funny-ish thing. Was I got asked by somebody if I was going to PAX East next week. And first off, no, I'm not. Second off, I haven't been to PAX East since the 2020 PAX East. I did one PAX online, or two PAXs online. One or two PAXs online. I can't remember at this point. And then I did a couple unplugs. I would say asking, hey, are you going to go back to unplugged would make sense to me. But I was very surprised that someone thought that I might be going. It perhaps is because the Giant Bomb crew are going, and there are some other folks going from various other things. So it could be that people think like, oh, this is the time. I will say I've gotten way more emails about PAX East than I have previously from the PAX things that I, like PAX groups and stuff. But no, I'm not going to PAX East. I don't have any plans to go to any of the PAXs. There is a budget airline in my area that is planning to do direct flights to Philadelphia. But it's like once a day and a terrible, weird times. So I am considering a PAX Unplugged trip because that is the one that is most convenient for me to go. I would need some assistance and yada, yada, yada. And then also, some of the people that I would normally do things at PAX East with or PAX Unplugged with don't go to PAXs anymore. I would want to do panels, at least a panel, if not more panels. So I would have to figure that stuff out. And there was a panel that a friend of mine and I had considered doing, but they are no longer in the country of the United States. And they were in Canada. And they were thinking, hey, I might go to PAX Unplugged this year, being 2026. But then they were like, actually, I'm going to another country, and I don't expect to go to America anytime soon. And I was like, yeah. Standard understanding at this point, friends, is anyone that's just like, I'm not going to blank, and that blank being any place in the United States, my response is, yeah, all right. As John says, fair. A friend of mine who has more disposable income than I do was considering going to Texas because this week in both Austin, Texas, and then Dallas today and Houston tomorrow, Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling is doing some shows. They've done 3 now because they finished today's show, and they're doing a 4th tomorrow. And a friend of mine was considering going. but made the responsible decision that perhaps they shouldn't be flying and they shouldn't enter the state of Texas. To which I said, yeah, that sounds about right, my friend. Like, yeah, I would say not going to Texas is probably smart for someone who is marginalized. And I would say to my Canadian friends, yeah, coming into the United States for a thing that is mostly fun, but also might be sort of your business. It's got to really be your business to make any sense, especially if you are marginalized in any way, shape, or form. You certainly... Oh, I got to put stickers on before I put this on. Apparently, there are color correcting stickers that go on this thing's neck that I have to do, so I'll do that. I probably could skip the neck stickers, but we'll do that. We'll do them anyway. These are all images instead of letters or numbers, and that is frustrating, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so that's the back neck. That's the front neck. Yeah, I think I could probably skip these color correcting stickers, the neck stickers. We're going to do them before we do the this piece over here to lock it in place. So, but whatever, we'll put some neck stickers on this thing. That's fine. But yeah, if you don't have to, if you don't have to fly to another state, I would say don't, myself personally, But two, if you are going to be flying, then definitely you should consider not flying in and around the United States, if at all possible. I have wondered. I don't think PAX is in the... I don't think that PAX at this point is necessarily in the right position to start expanding. But I have wondered if they might try to do another country. PAX Australia is a thing that is like put on by Reed with another company, if I remember correctly. That might have changed. Don't quote me on that. But I know for a time at least, it was like in association with another production that was an Australian-based company. I don't know if that's all gone in-house with Reed or not. I apologize. I don't have that full information for you. But I've wondered if they would do like PAX Vancouver or PAX Toronto. Both make some amount of sense. That I have wondered about that. I mean, PAX Vancouver, Vancouver itself has had in the past anyway a huge presence at PAX West because it's not a hard trip to Seattle. Now that probably has changed a bit post pandemic, and post current current presidency. But it might still be a thing that people are going to in vast numbers. But that used to be most of the foreign attendees at PAXs were Canadian. So, especially PAX West. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's in the cards for a European show of any kind or something like that. That ship may have sailed. There was a rumor. Never heard it from anyone that I knew for sure. Never asked to confirm it because I don't want to put people in bad positions. But there was a rumor at one point that they were going to do a Midwest PAX. And that rumor, I believe, was in 2019. Basically, as soon as PAX South ended and PAX Unplugged was gearing up, there was conversation about another PAX in the middle of the country to replace PAX South. And there were rumors that it was going to be in the Midwest. And my assumption was always, well, that's probably Chicago. That could be Minneapolis. Could have been. There are other cities it could have been, but it always felt like it was probably Chicagoland, not actually Chicago, but Chicagoland. Like that always seemed like what they were headed for, which of course they didn't, because we know they didn't. We would, otherwise we would be talking about it. All right. What sticker is this? There's another sticker, and I don't know quite where it goes. Look at this photo. I've done this part. There is a sticker that is kind of like a 7 with another line through it. Let's see what that... Oh, it's one of these green stickers. But I don't know which one. And where does it go? Oh, it's this here. Okay, so there's like a scope there, and so it's a sticker that fits in there. So I'm going to assume it's one of the longer ones. See if I can get this sticker on. Sorry. But yeah, obviously that didn't happen. I believe the pandemic probably postponed those plans, and then post-pandemic, the new reality of conventions probably changed plans as well. Some conventions bounced right the fuck back like it's no fucking problem. Some conventions didn't, and maybe they wouldn't have anyway. Video games is tough because the market didn't... 2020 is an outlier because there were people with disposable income that they weren't spending on trips. They weren't spending on... there was some products weren't available. So like there were people who were like, well, we could buy more video games because we're just hanging out and we're around. So like, and it was especially a comfort item for a lot of people. So of course that did have some gains there, but it seems like the games industry certainly did not bounce back in the same way. And that certainly hurts a video game focused convention. Certainly gets hurt more than a comic book convention would, or even a tabletop convention, because tabletop had some issues but seemed to bounce back. And once enough people were like, I just want to be with my friends and play a game, tabletop took a nice little bit of resurgence. So with that in mind, like, it to me is not super surprising that PAX Unplugged seems to have bounced back, but the PAX West and East seemingly have not as much. And I don't know the exact specifics, but PAX, because I've never been to PAX Aux, so I've never been to Australia. Never been to PAX Australia, so I can't say. But from my understanding, that is pretty all right, and it's mostly because the country of Australia treated COVID differently than America did. So, but apparently their convention is there seems to have done pretty well. Again, I don't know. This is all conversation stuff with people who are around that world. The actual folks that work at Reed for PAX, I don't have. I haven't been super contact with. I can't give you, scoops or anything. These are just things that I have heard over the years now, here and there, because I don't ask a lot of questions about that stuff, because I don't want my friends to have to lie to me. That's generally my feeling on that stuff, because they're not going to tell me things like that. And if they did, it would be in confidence, of course. So yeah. There's a little bit I can panel line there. We're already done with the chest. We're going to work on the backpack. This kit is looking pretty good. The GM3 is a fine Mobile suit is a multi-purpose suit here. That is a fine bit of business that I'm looking forward to work on. We will come to a step fairly soon, not now, but fairly soon. There will be a step where I will get to choose how I want the shoulders to look. And I think I know how I want them to look, but I'll pop out the piece and kind of compare it. But right now, we're not there yet. If you're asking, are we there yet? The answer is no. Let's see. We haven't done an update in a while on Elon Musk. Around the time of the purchase of Twitter, there were a lot of Elon Musk stories to talk about. And then there was the point where he was working with the federal government, and it was not fun. It was not fun to talk about him in any way, shape, or form. It was just infuriating. So I didn't. But now, there's a thing. Now, I'm not even talking about the tweet today. I do not give a shit about that. I do not care. That is not a thing that I want to talk to y'all about. I want to talk to you all about a ruling in California. A jury decided in the court of law, in federal court, that Elon Musk defrauded Twitter shareholders during the run-up to his $44 billion acquisition of the social media company. That was a Friday verdict. Of course, this is a class action lawsuit in federal court. The total damages could reach up to $6.2 billion. That's the plaintiff saying that. That has not been decided yet. This was filed originally in October 2022. Musk completed the purchase for $54.20 per share. And then he obviously renamed the company X. He merged it with XAI. And then he merged it with SpaceX. And then, let's see, the attorney for the investors. Now, of course, this is investors. When you think about this, anytime that investors sue, it is not for noble reasons. It is for practical reasons. And generally, you don't even sue the person who has been misleading you that bought the company. You sue the company that sold to, like they would sue Jack and Company for selling for something that it's not worth, like for losing out on prospective money. The WWE, TKO and WWE are being sued by shareholders right now because they think that there were other offers in place that would have been better than the deal they did, which is getting swallowed up by Endeavor and merging the companies together, making the new company TKO. They're saying that this was like determined ahead of time and cost the shareholder value by doing that. In this case, Pampana versus Musk was filed in 2022. And the lawyer for the shareholders, Joseph Kachet, said, "This is a great example of what you cannot do to the average investor. People that have 401ks, kids, pension funds, teachers, firemen, nurses." That's what this case was all about. That this was not about Musk. It's about the whole operation. So basically, it's just like, yeah, the genuine consension among the shareholders was Musk lied about how much money he had and what he planned to do with the company, and therefore fucked over the shareholders. And a jury agrees. Now, what will this lead to? How long will this be? Like, he's got lawyers. He could fight this for a very long time. Who knows? Who knows how long? But it is something. And if you think that Elon Musk didn't necessarily make a thing that is now the topic of conversation today in order to deflect, I don't think he's smart enough for that. But also, I do think that's what he was trying to do, was to deflect from this, because it is people making fun of him. The fraud scheme, they didn't find him guilty of fraud. And they're like, his lawyers are like, this is a bump in the road. We look forward to vindication on appeal. So, of course, they're going to appeal. One of the reasons why he was being sued was because while he said that his acquisition was on hold until the Twitter CEO could prove its inauthentic account levels were around 5% reported in the company's SEC filings. And basically, Musk was tweeting a lot and he tanked the sale price because people were afraid that by him talking about issues that it wasn't going to go through and the sale wasn't going to happen, and so therefore he basically affected the shares negatively by tweeting, which is hilarious because that's all he's fucking done since. Musk's remarks amounted to a scheme to pressure the company's board to sell to him for a lower price than he originally offered, because part of the way he was making the money was to sell Tesla stocks, but Tesla stocks were going down at the time, so he would have to sell more shares of the stock. And this was like, they basically alleged that he was trying to in bad faith have some negotiations and bring the sale price down by claiming he wasn't going to do it. Jury said that though Musk had made false and misleading statements that harmed Twitter shareholders, he did not engage a specific scheme to defraud investors. So basically, they said, hey, you fucked up and did fuck with their money, but we don't think you were doing it on purpose to get a better deal. Basically, the jury found that he was just being a dumbass. Basically, that is a bit of conjecture on my part, but he's like, basically they were like, you did fuck up. It's just you didn't necessarily do it completely and totally on purpose, which is a little, in my opinion, a little hard to argue, but all right, sure, that's what they found. We'll see what happens on appeal. And of course, if he owes the full amount, $2.6 billion, it's nothing, right? He's got a net worth of $650 billion, right? But it's mostly just like, he doesn't want to lose that. He doesn't want to lose lawsuits. So it's something. It's not major, it's minor, but it is something. So that's nice. It's nice for everybody. There's not a lot of gaming news since our last stream on Thursday, because generally, the only gaming news that happens on a Friday usually is somebody leaving their job or people getting laid off. And we don't seem to have that. We seem to have a minor reprise from that, which, of course, is great, and we love that. What else we have here? Space Marine 2 had a $5 DLC voice pack that they were selling. And apparently it was bad news. It was apparently poorly done. And it was so bad that they refunded everybody and they made the pack free. I did not know that they were still selling stuff for Space Marine 2. This Saber Interactive, they did a free update for the game. And included with that free update was a $5 DLC pack that added a bunch of new voice acting. It's 2 years later after the game came out. That's cool. Again, I didn't know that this was coming because I'm not paying attention to it. They had a new class and they had a new co-op mission. But now they're like, hey, we're going to refund everybody and we're putting it out for free. This is character voice pack 1. Apparently, reportedly 450 new lines. And it was not part of a season pass, but, you know, they did a bunch of work, right? But apparently it failed to completely revoice the dialogue of characters, meaning that at points while playing, a character might shift back to their previous voice. So it wasn't a total overhaul of some characters. It added new voice lines, but it didn't replace old voice lines. So sometimes if they had a different voice actor, it would just jump between voice actors, which seems like a thing you would know you're doing and that you should fucking not do. Many claimed on Steam that it seemed to primarily consist of new grunting noises, while others suggested that the 450 lines might not be per language, but all languages combined. Which is also like, yeah, all right. Like that one I'm not as like bummed about. It's like, oh, it's not 450 lines per language. It's like, it's 450 total. It's like, maybe you'd say that definitively, but I'm like, The real thing to me is that it's not line replacement, it's line addition, but if it's different voice actors for the same character, that's bad. I shouldn't have to say that. I mean, you know. Negative rating on Steam for the DLC, because I forgot about this. You can rate DLC separate from rating the game, which is good. That's a good thing on Steam. Only 16% of the 672 current user ratings are positive. It only revoiced 3 of the 7 classes. And now Focus has said that we heard your feedback regarding the chapter voice pack DLC and wanted to address it. It's obvious the DLC has failed to meet your expectations, and we are sorry about that. Delivering quality content, free or not, is a priority for us. But like, again, it wasn't free. And of course, that's not an apology. That's like, we didn't live up to your expectations. Is not, we put out something that we hear you don't like what we did a bad job. And it's just like, well, don't fucking say anything. Just say, hey, we're refunding. Everybody bought this DLC will get their $5 back. Voice pack is going to be made free. We're currently setting up refunds with platform owners, and we'll be back soon with more info. It has not switched to free. It's still, but also, it's still for sale right now. So if you want to buy that pack, you can buy it. It's not free yet. It's also on sale. So if you, Space Marine 2 is on sale. So I would say maybe don't get the voice pack. But if you want to get the game, it's currently 67% off. So that's pretty good. That one was wild to me. That it was just like, I understand why that language is the way it is. I think it fucking sucks that the language is the way the language is. But I understand why they're doing that like that. But I think it's fucking shitty. Beam sabers. We're building the beam sabers already for this kit. We got to get the beam sabers done here because they live on the backpack. So we got to get those connected, and then we'll move on there. But as I mentioned, there's a sale on Steam, if you can believe it. There's the spring Steam sale is here, and a lot of stuff is on sale. Like, obviously, I'm not going to label all of them. But luckily, your friend and mine, Zach Zweisen, over at Kotaku, did an article with some of them. With some of them, they're there. And the sale ends on the 26th. So you've got some time. If any of these things that I mentioned here spark an interest with you, perhaps pick them up. I don't even know if it's on this list, but I will say I Am Your Beast is on sale. It's not on this list. I Am Your Beast is on sale. And you should pick that up because that game is pretty fucking awesome, if not insane. Let's see. Ace Combat 7 is currently $10. If you've ever been interested in an Ace Combat game, I feel like $10 is a good number to like see, like, well, let's see, instead of the normal 60. Control is $4. Please buy Control and please play Control. Control absolutely whips ass. I would love it if you played Control. Fallout New Vegas is $1. It's normally these days $10. It maybe you played Fallout New Vegas on the console. Buy it for Steam for $1. Fallout 4 is $8. It's normally $20 these days. There's going to be a lot of DLC. There's sometimes sales on the DLC. Sometimes there's not sales on the DLC. That's the base game. That's not the anniversary edition. The anniversary edition does have a lot of cool new stuff, some of which, like, I don't know about because I wasn't going to fucking buy the anniversary edition when I already bought the game. But yeah. The Master Chief Collection is $10 right now. That's a great fucking collection. There are still people playing multiplayer in that collection. You can still get some games going out there. Let's see. The Resident Evil 2 remake and the Resident Evil 3 remake 2 remake is $14 right now, and Resident Evil 3 remake is $4. I now own the Resident 3 remake, Resident Evil 3 remake, because I didn't own that, but I was like, well, for fucking $4, I'm just gonna buy that. Civ 5 is $3 right now. That's a very good deal for a very good game that is probably showing its age, but it's still pretty fucking dope. Let's see. Hollow Knight is $7.50. It's a great deal for Hollow Knight, which is normally $15. Jedi Fallen Order is $3. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, a game that usually retails for $70. I'm checking that. Is that right? I'm looking this one up because this one feels wrong. Sorry, hold on. Is that correct? I'm looking at Steam here. Come on, Steam. Show me Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Looking it up right now. Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Yeah, okay. Star Wars Jedi Survivor is currently $6.99. It is 90% off. If you've been thinking about playing the 2023 game Star Wars Jedi Survivor, it is, as I said, $7 right now. It's a pretty fucking good deal. The Division 2 is $3 right now. If you want to play the Division 2, that's $3. Normally $30. The complete edition for The Witcher 3 is $10 right now. There are some deals to be had. If you are looking for deals, you could find some of those deals. And as I said, some of those deals seem pretty fucking good. So we got the Beam Saber here. These are the Beam Saber holders. Pretty sure it's a bit more than that in the last sale when I bought it, and I still need to get back to playing Jedi Survivor. Yeah, all right. I mean, yeah. Like I said, $7 for a game that is currently retailing normally for $70 is just like, if you have any passing interest in Jedi Survivor, that's kind of, to me, a no-brainer. It's weird. Wait, I'm gonna look. Yeah, why? I don't know why. I think they did more work with 2, but I don't understand why Resident Evil 3 remake is so much cheaper than the 2 remake. But whatever. Elden Ring is $39. If you've been thinking about jumping into Elden Ring, you can get that for a song and a dance. I love this about the GM3 that the beam sabers are here and they just pop off, and then you put on a beam. I'll put a beam on. These are the short beams sabers here, which I don't love. I don't love the short beams, But I'm not against them. I'm just not necessarily for them. There. Bean Saber. We'll pop that out. I don't need that. Then they just go like this. Let's see if there's anything else on this. All right, let me look on Kotaku here. Check the news section here. News. Pokemon Fire Red on Switch. There are some things people don't like about this version. Generally, it's the price. Generally, people don't love the price of it. But there are a few other things that people don't love. But there's one thing that people are very excited about with the Pokemon Fire Red Switch version, which is a glitch that could get changed, could get fixed, but right now is pretty cool for speedrunners. Let's see. There's a new time skip discovered in the recent Pokemon Fire Red Switch port. Let's see. Swiss runner I Am Clemmy was early in the game, hoping to pick up a Charmander with good stats. You want to get sometimes that stuff's randomized. He accidentally apparently pressed the L button because he's been used to playing it on the Game Boy Advance, or they are, I should say. But on the Switch, it's a bigger button, so it hits it accidentally and is like, it didn't save seconds. But basically, a sound cue that usually plays when picking up the Pokeball didn't happen. And that is a thing that people do in speedrunning to shave milliseconds. Is there are things you can manipulate that will mean that sounds don't play, which is in theory supposed to make things move quicker, because the sounds aren't playing. Like you get what I'm saying there. So let's see. Bringing up the help menu did cancel out many sound prompts, like picking up items or healing a Pokemon Center. Player character still stood in silence as if honoring the jingles. When catching wild Pokemon, the usual pause for fanfare gets skipped entirely, fast forwarding the player to the Pokedex entry. This is by far the largest time saver discovered in any Pokemon, Game Boy Pokemon, since the RNG manipulation was found nearly a decade ago, says Gunner Maniac. This is huge. That's another speedrunner. That's the current record holder for clearing the Elite Four Round 2 category, which is an epilogue added to the Fire Red and Leaf Green versions of the game. So this is somebody who has a record in a particular category, waxing poetic about what this could mean. And generally, apparently, people are fucking stoked about this discovery. The new skip saves 2.68 seconds for every captured Pokemon. But those seconds add up quickly for a number of speedrunning categories. And I appreciate this. This is from Gunner Maniac, who basically says, my record could be in jeopardy. That's exciting. Which is awesome. That is an awesome thing for a speedrunner to say. That feels like the vibe you want. It is like, yes, it is dope as hell when you have a record. But if this new thing opens up the possibilities that people are going to start whipping your ass in there, which might motivate you to try to be your own record, that shit's cool. So yeah. This was an unexpected element of this, was that, oh hey, this version it's a new glitch, like I said. That's cool. Let's see, is there any other news stuff here? Let's see, news stories. That's a news story. Let me look at all the news here. Kotaku. There it is. Culture/news. Marathon endgame stuff. People seem pretty fucking stoked about it. Minecraft World is a new theme park with its own roller coaster coming in 2027. $70 million Minecraft World theme park will have a Minecraft themed roller coaster. This is Mojang Studios and Merlin Entertainment opening the official Minecraft theme park named Minecraft World. 2027. And it is part of the Chessington World of Adventure theme park in Greater London. So it is a London theme park. It is very funny that people are like, $70 million? Unannounced games that get canceled that never come out spend more than $70 million. There's been an interesting bit of perspective being had on Blue Sky. I saw today of people talking about that. I want to see what we saw here. At a price tag of $70 million, building an entire fucking theme park expansion is ironically less than the cost to make most AAA games now. And then another person said, a game designer named who's also working on games with however, said, I personally know of like 3 AAA projects that didn't even get announced and spent more money than this before getting canceled. So yeah, a few people were talking about that, which I thought was an interesting perspective, right? Like, obviously, $70 million to add in a Minecraft land for 2027 does, at first blush, feel kind of fucking insane. But with the context of, like, how much money Minecraft makes, sorry, I have to look for a sticker that has to go in there. But yeah, when you start thinking about like how much Minecraft makes and all that other stuff, it's like, it ain't actually that much money at the end of the day. It's still a lot of money. Don't get it twisted. But it ain't game dev money. AAA game dev. Speaking of game dev, I want to mention a thing real quick. Let's see. Can I find this? This is a couple days ago, so we'll see. I don't think I can find it. There was there is going to be a triple I showcase coming that is all focusing on like big indie. I hate triple I, the very term of it. I would love to see that die. Hopefully that will someday, but I think it's terrible. But basically they were like, their pitch was no ads, no host, just the trailers. And of course, one of the first things you can say is, trailers are fucking ads, my guy. If you're saying we're only going to focus on like we're only going to focus on video games and not like ads for like TV shows or whatever, like sure, okay, I fucking guess. I guess that's what you can say and that's what you can do. I've been trying to fucking find this thing, the actual one, because I complained about it, so I should be able to find my own tweets. I don't know where it is. I can't find it. But anyway, my thought on that was, why not a host? Maybe I'm just old. Like, it's probably that I'm just old. Like, that's probably it, is that I'm an old man. But I'm still trying to find this. But I don't know, There it is. Here we go. This is the folks that made 1,000 Times Resist. Triple I Showcase April 9th. No hosts, no ads, just games. And I said, I'm all for taking ads out of showcases. And of course, trailers are ads. But it's so odd to me to make no host a selling point. I love a host. I like breaking up trailers, allowing a personality or two to share information or a little joke or just mix things up. Something to make things feel less cold. I might just be old. That is my general thought. I don't think I'm just being an old man yelling at clouds about this. Like, obviously, when I say host, I should have specified in that I like a good host. I like a host that can direct conversations. I like a host that can answer questions and is knowledgeable of the thing. Maybe had something to say. Not every trailer, but can just be like, here's a bit of information that wasn't in the trailer. Let's bring in some Fraggles to host for a change from Fraggle Rock. John? Yes. But also kind of yes. You know, like the idea of, and it doesn't necessarily have to just be a host in between every trailer, but like, hey, coming up next are 5 trailers from devs from, here are 2 trailers from devs from Spain. And then we see those trailers and then they come back and they go, hell yeah. And here, let's have we're going to have a brief chat with the solo dev of this game. And then they talk to that person for a second and then they see the trailer. And it's like, or is a dev diary trailer for this thing. And it just breaks it up. Because otherwise it's going to be like, here's like, I don't know. I like a personality. Because if I just wanted to see a bunch of trailers, then I wouldn't watch a showcase. I would just go to a write-up of the showcase that embeds every trailer. Because multiple websites are going to do that. I could go to Kotaku or Polygon or IGN or GameSpot and just look at a bunch of trailers if I wanted to do that. But what if I want some context or having someone say this has been on my wish list for a year and a half and I'm so excited that there's a trailer, or just like a person going, since that trailer was released, they also added a demo and you can play the demo right now on Steam and itch. Fucking something, some kind of personality. I'm not saying you gotta hire someone I know, or it has to be a D-list celebrity. It could be just it could be a fun person who works in game dev, you know? Just running the show. Get Nelson out there to do it. Have Lauren Nelson to do it, because that would be fun. Get a streamer to do it. Hire an indie VTuber to run it. You know? Here's Iron Mouse to host this showcase of AAA game dev. Whatever. Do something. Here's Connor, Sea-Dog, and the rest of his podcast that used to be about anime, but they kind of stopped watching anime, so now it's just friends catching up the podcast. Here's these guys, they're hosting. Whatever. It's just, I don't know. We got Brian Kibler to host our showcase. Whatever. It doesn't, you don't have to get kind of funny to do it or whatever. Greg would do an excellent job with that. He would be very good at it. I don't know. I think I'm probably an old man about it, but I do think that obviously besides the whole, hey, trailers are ads, just what are you talking about? The second point of that is hey, a host is kind of cool. Otherwise, it's just back-to-back trailers. One of the cool elements of Day of the Devs, the stream, is that they have devs host the thing who helped curate Day of the Devs. And it makes it fun and interesting. Because there are indie devs out there who come from an entertainment background, who know how to do this, who are streamers, who have some semblance of how to talk to a camera, talk into a microphone. Of course, there was a response of somebody being like, you should do it. To which I did reply, and of course, reskeet, like, I am not saying that it needs to be me, but I am saying I do a fucking great job with it. I also wouldn't swear if they didn't want me to swear. But yeah, I would fucking be a great host of that shit. Are you kidding me? I would do phenomenal with that. I'm not saying they should hire me to host their event. I am saying that it is weird to be like, we don't have a host. Oh, then you just have like 20 trailers back to back. Weird. Also, I hope they curate it. That's a separate thing, but also hope they properly curate their stuff. All right, I got the head done, the chest done, the backpack done. We're going to work on the shoulders here because we can do the shoulders. And there's a choice, but that'll be in the second hour of the stream. I will make the choice about if we're going for the shoulders that you see here in this photo, or if we're going for a different pair of shoulder. And we'll have to decide that. I don't know what I'm going with, so I'm gonna put the shoulders together and then figure that shit out. But right now, we have entered the part of the stream, my friends, where I am going to talk to you about ways that you can support me and what I do here. This is the Pause for the Cause segment. It is my opportunity to advertise myself and what I do here to you, the viewer. It'll take 5 or 6 minutes, and I'm going to go over ways you can support what I do here, which are all optional, of course. You don't have to do any of those things. You being here for any length of period of time is the most important thing, because I am doing this for you, to be entertainment, to be a sense of community, to be a thing that you can look forward to, and to be a thing that happens consistently, a consistent thing in your life where you might not have a lot of those. That is fun and maybe even a little cathartic here and there. I don't know. I can contain multitudes. Or just an introduction to some model kits and me struggling with model kits on occasion and making you go, haha, yeah, Pat, I get you. Been there. If you are currently a subscriber to the Bill Blue Bear Workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Tier 2 Blue emote, the Scythe emote, the emotes in the chat that are emotes that come for being a subscriber that you get because you support me here financially. You get those cool emotes. You don't see ads during the stream. If I have to take an ad break, you don't see those. You don't see pre-roll ads. You don't see any of that stuff. And as I said, you get some cool emotes. Hey, Dirty, welcome. And also you're supporting me financially, which means the world to me. You could be like John and use your Prime Gaming token. That will be rad. Or Cool V, who 2 days ago also used Prime Gaming token, which is all again rad. You use Cash Money. You could gift a sub. There have been no gifted subs in the month of March. If you want to get me closer to my goal of 30 subscribers this month, you could gift a sub. Be part of the change you want to see in the world, or I want to see in the world. Bits and coins always appreciated. We haven't had bits in a long ass time. No cheer in a while. That's okay. Just noticing it. There are other ways to support what I do here, and I'll go through all of them as quickly as I can. I have a Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. Over on the Patreon, there is a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier, and there are different rewards for different tiers included. So consider, if you will, perhaps becoming a patron supporter. $1 a month isn't much, but it adds up, and it's pretty great. Also, I have a YouTube channel at youtube.com/PatBaer. Over on the YouTube, of course, subscribing is free, and you should, because I make videos over there. But also, there's a membership, and for just $2 a month, you can become a member over on my YouTube, and you will get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. So you will get the last video of the March videos that I've been putting out. You'll get early, before everybody else, get early access to it. Those are all monthly ways to support me. If you just want to throw something in the bucket there, the old tip jar, I've got PayPal and a Ko-Fi, and you can make donations like that. Everything I make through direct donations, through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me out, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund. And from that fund, I pull money out to buy model kits. I bought this GM3 because I was like, I've never built the GM3. That'll be fun. I have model kits coming in the mail tomorrow. I have 2 model kits that'll enter the backlog, and one thing that'll be probably in the summer I'll build on my birthday subathon, but whatever. I was able to buy those model kits because of your generosity. Past you is helping out present me. So if you want to support me in those ways, that would be great. I have mentioned that at some point soon, I don't know when it's coming, somebody bought something off my Amazon wish list, and that'll be the next thing that I work on the streams. So I look forward to that. If you would also like to buy something from my wish list, have it jump the queue, be the next thing I work on, you can go over to Amazon.com and we'll click on the link in the chat there for the wish list and check out what I got going on here. I've got model kits and Lego sets, inexpensive kits, expensive kits. I have a Blockies Transformer for Starscream. I would love to build that. But yeah, I got all kinds of things and things over there. Kits from previous Gundam series from the last couple of years all the way to like 20 years ago. A bunch of things and things that I will be happy to pick up if you wanted me to. I'm going to check the Blocky store right now because I'm going to check the new arrivals. I kind of want to do another Blockies kit that isn't Transformers. So maybe I'll do an Ultraman. Oh, the Ultraman are just the like booster pack versions. They're the tiny ones. I don't want that. What about Evangelion? Oh yeah, there are 2 Evangelion ones. How much are those? $40. Dang, dude. Yeah. Yeah, that's about right. That's a very detailed looking Evangelion kit. Ultra Action Edition. Legacy Edition. They have a Unit 1 and a Unit 2. I'm looking at them like, yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of money. Saint Seiya Ultraman Hatsune Miku. They got a Hatsune Miku there. I don't think I'm going to put that on the wish list. Sesame Street. I didn't know Blockies had the Sesame Street license. That's cute. That's fun. I like that. Maybe we'll put another Transformer on there. Galaxy version. I don't know what that is. Where that fits in the line. Oh, Galaxy version is their tiny little line. Okay, so Galaxy is that. All right. Galaxy is the tiny line, and they've got the bigger lines. They got $14.97. I was looking at $140, and I was like, that's a crazy price for a model kit, but it's not. It was $14. They got all right, you know what? They got an Optimus Prime. They got a variation of the Transformers 1 Optimus Prime, because they had the movie Prime, which I don't want to build. I'm adding that to the wish list. If you want to see me build Optimus Prime, you could buy that off my wish list, and then I will build it on stream. I will jump the queue and be the next thing that I work on when it's time to start something new. Well, I got to build the thing that you bought, and I got to make a video for YouTube about the thing you bought. Those are things. I'm getting loud about that for no reason. My alternative to Amazon is I have a wish list on Throne, because sometimes you want an alternative, and I hear you and I understand what you're saying. And then if you're like, Pat, I would like to financially support you at this time. I don't want to be on Twitch. I don't want to buy a kit for you to build. I want to financially support you in the weirdest way possible. How do I do that? Well, you go to USA Gundam Store and you buy a gift card, USA Gundam Store. They will send you an email with a gift card code. Then you can send me a whisper on Twitch or a private message on Blue Sky or on Mastodon with that gift card code. And then I will use that gift card code to buy something from USA Gundam Store. And that is the most convoluted way to support me financially. John, I would love it if you didn't do penny hiding across South Carolina with my initials on them. That is a convoluted way to support me financially, but I would say it is not a direct way to do that. So I would love for you to not do that, John. Again, buying a gift card and then send me a private message with the gift card code is a ridiculous way to support me, but it is a thing that people have done, and I appreciate them. A couple of video links for you to check out. If you didn't see this week's episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club, please watch it. It is me talking about some of my favorite original anime from the past 6 years, the 2020s. There are a bunch of great examples. I could do another video just on the 2020s of ones I didn't mention, because there are some that I didn't even talk about Zombieland Saga, like in that video. But I talked about a bunch of stuff that I all think is awesome. And great shows, and maybe you'll find your next favorite anime in that conversation. And then, of course, Kuma Baer is my weekly anime recommendation series, and this week I recommended Let's Make a Mug 2. Let's Make a Mug 2, T-O-O, not 2, the number 2, is a phenomenal, weird little, cozy anime about girls making pottery and becoming better friends and hanging out. And it's very cute. It's also sponsored by Tajima City, which is a city that is famous for its pottery, and especially their high school pottery club. Many people who've gone to be well regarded in the field come from that high school, and in the 70s and 80s used to go to that school specifically to learn pottery. And the weird thing about that show is the anime episodes are like 12 minutes, and then there's like 12 minutes of the voice actors, like in real life voice actors, doing tourism stuff, because again, it was sponsored by a town's tourism board. They visit the high school, they visit sites from the anime, like real sites, and they learn about a bunch of stuff. It also was mostly filmed in 2020, so there's a lot of people wearing masks and socially distancing, and it's very strange. It is a strange little time capsule. So I would recommend Let's Make a Mug 2. Watch my 1-minute video about that and then check out the anime yourself, because it's very cute and you deserve a cute, fun girls doing things show. I got another one next week to finish off the month, and it's one that I bet some people will argue is not a girls doing things show, but I would say it is. And if you're wondering, Pat, why don't you say cute girls doing cute things? Because I don't think that is a requirement for the genre. I am not here to be like, if there was a girl that was not cute, but she was doing things with other girls, to me, that's still among the subgenre. Also, you don't have to do cute things, because I would argue that Diary of Our Days at the Breakwater is not a cute thing. Fishing, like at the docks, is not cute. So, but it is definitely one of those shows. So I have dropped the cute part and just say girls doing things. The GDTs. If you want to say girls doing things, I think you're well within your right, and I would not stop you from saying it's a girls doing things show. Or the injury-prone DIY MC. Yes! A series I've talked about previously in that category. DIY, do-it-yourself. Do-it-yourself is like carpentry and building like things and failing at it in some instances. That's not cute, but it's a very fun show. That's one of my favorite originals. I talk about that in the Anime Club video this week, which was just because I really wanted to talk about that. I looked at a list of original anime from 2020s and I was like, I gotta talk about that show because it's very fun. All right, at this point, I gotta drink more water. We gotta get back to the overhead camera. I gotta start working on these shoulder things and figuring that out. And also, the anime talk continues. Sorry. Because there are 2 anime episodes. Episodes 9 of one show and 11 of the other. I want to say 11. Yeah, 11. We got to talk about those. And we also need to dramatically transition to the overhead camera, which we will do right now. First off, hi, Lord Crashington. Second off, we'll do a dance, and then I will pull a trivia card. Thank you for using your channel points, but welcome, Lord Crashington. Happy to have you here. The dance button, if you're unaware, people can request that with channel points. And then I have a new song every month, and I'll play that song and dance around it a little bit, and I'll do that right now. Oh, yeah. All right, I need D 15 and 17. Thank you for using your channel points. And now, let me get 17 out of here. 15 and 17. Which one is 17? Is this one? Okay, yeah, 17 is this one here. All right, great. Let me get this piece out. I got these delightfully useless trivia. Wait. What happened? My camera, okay. My overhead camera froze. That's wild. That's never happened before. That's never happened before. It looks like I'm still live, but yeah, my camera froze. Wow, that's weird. That's very weird. Nope, that's still frozen. That's wild. Okay, I'm going to turn it off. That's never happened before. Huh. Let's see. Oh, shit. All right, well, that's weird. Huh. I guess I will. I'm going to try something else here. I have disconnected the HDMI adapter and reconnected it. Okay, no, that is still a static. All right, so let's do properties. Let's see if I can refresh. Buffering. Gotcha. Camera, if any. Deactivate. Activate. Okay, we're back. Okay. I had to deactivate it and reactivate it. That has never happened before with this camera. I don't know what the fuck that was. I will say that there was a OBS update today, and maybe something got a little wonky there. I don't know, but I'm glad we're back. That was really weird. I went to go make sure, like, look at what the cards were saying, because I wanted to show this. Delightfully useless trivia. So, John, I don't know how long it would have taken me to notice, so thank you for using this. So I've got these trivia cards. I'm going to read a trivia card, and we go until we get through all of them, and then I take that off. So here we go. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. This is questions about Kenny Rogers' hometown of Houston, Kenny Rogers' hometown of Houston, Texas. So this is questions about Houston, Texas. Which of the following celebrities is not from Houston? 3 of these celebrities are from Houston. 1 is not. Is it Patrick Swayze? Is it Beyonce? Is it Wes Anderson? Is it Owen Wilson? One of these people is not from Houston, Texas. Patrick Swayze, Beyonce, Wes Anderson, or Owen Wilson? I'll give you. Say, John wonders if maybe Beyonce is not from Houston. I'll give it other people a chance if they want to. Whoop. Camera got weird. Hold on. There it is. That's what we want. Oh, too much. There we go. Dirty says Swayze. Lashbrook and Lord Crashton say Wes Anderson. The answer: the person who is not from Mr. Rogers, again, would that be Houston, Texas, which is also where Kenny Rogers is from. Owen Wilson is not from Houston, Texas. Where is Owen Wilson from? I do not know. But Patrick Swayze, Beyonce, and Wes Anderson are all from Houston. They're all from H-Town. I don't think they call it H-Town. I know for a fact Wes Anderson is from Houston, says John. I knew before this that Beyonce was from Houston. I was aware of that. I went through a lot of his collection lately, and they keep bringing up his stories from Houston. I remember Beyonce early in Destiny Child era repping Houston, Texas. Owen Wilson is from Dallas, says Lord Crasherton. Well, there you go. But there, hey, you know what? That is useless trivia. But as far as the useless trivia that we have gotten so far, that's the best one. That's the best one so far. Houston and Dallas is there is a big difference. That's different. If you want to start a fight, you can start a fight about that shit. Useless but fun. Yes, at least in this case, John, that one was fun. They're not always fun. Now I am constantly worried about this because it's never happened before. I assumed it was my adapter, but it could also be the camera. Who knows? We'll see. Worst comes to worst with this camera, which is way better than my webcams. I have a backup webcam. I have the webcam I was using here before I got the new webcam to replace the old one. Thank you, Aristophan. So worst comes to worst, I could always pop in and just plug in that webcam. I don't want to because this is way better than a webcam, but someday I might have to. Because this I've been using this camcorder for a while. All right, anime talk. We got episode 9 of the wonderful series Frieren, season 2, and we have episode 11 of Easygoing Territory Defense by the Optimistic Lord. Which I should say, even before we get to that episode, we are now at the point where we are beyond the manga release, because it's based on the light novel. The last episode of the anime will come out before the chapters of the manga have hit, at least in English, because there's official translation that I do read. So at least in English, we're about to hit undiscovered territory for me. All right, so traditionally, by default, this is the shoulder thing that it comes on there. It is the mounts here. It's a little thing there. And then there's also we're about to launch missiles. I'm going with the missiles. We're going with this one. I think this one looks cooler. It looks like more ready for battle. This is the one we will be using. We'll be using that one, and we will not be using the ones that are in the photo. I have made my decision. I knew it was going to be this. I just wanted to look at it. Anyway, Frieren. They just, in the end of the last episode, beat the demons we needed to beat. And you're like, Pat, there's only 11 episodes in the season. What are the next 2 episodes going to be about? The next 3 episodes, because this one and then 2 more. We're setting up for the next arc. The next arc of Frieren, which will probably be a 2-core, maybe? I don't know. Is going to be a long-ass arc, and we're setting that up because Denkin is here. You may remember Denkin is the old man who took the exam to be a mage because he wants to go visit his wife's grave. His wife died in the territory. Yes, John, it is a fucking doozy, and it is. It definitely. It's long, and there's a lot of not Frieren in it. But it's great. So it's a lot of flashbacks that don't involve Himmel. But Denkin, yeah, we knew that Denkin, he wanted to go in this territory. He wanted to visit his wife's grave. He couldn't go there. He's on his journey to do that. We see he got a letter about something. We don't know what that is. More on him in the future, certainly. Because Frieren's party, they recovered from fighting the demons. They had trouble. Good thing they worked with the other folks. And now they're on their way. They're in an area that there was a dragon that really fucked up the whole area. And basically the party gets approached. An old man comes up and is just like, it'd be really great if you would consider going to the dragon nest that's nearby and killing all those dragons. And Frieren is just like, I don't know about that. And he offers her a rare grimoire as payment, which she accepts because Frieren loves to receive those. She's very excited. If that is being offered, Frieren is down. And we finally get this. We're in season fucking 2, y'all, and we get the answer to a question that many people have had for many years reading the manga. Why do you take payments? Why don't you just do this? And Fern is just like, why do you always have payment? And we get a flashback. There is a dragon fight. I'll talk about it in a second, but I want to talk about this part because this part fucking rules. That we get a flashback. It's, of course, influenced by Himmel. He always demanded some sort of payment, usually pretty small, because otherwise people would be indebted to the hero for small things that he would have done even if he wasn't the hero. And he didn't want them to live with that and like legends and have like all this in his wake. So he always had a payment, so it was fair. Never work for free. It values your other work. Yeah, I mean, dirty, certainly, yes. That is something that we can take to heart. But in this reality, it was, he wanted to, he knew that his hero would fade, his name would fade in history, but he didn't want people to feel indebted to him. So it was for fair payment. And one of those rewards was a notebook that was written, and Himmel's memoirs were in that notebook, which is, for me anyway, I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. Goddamn. The legends were recorded. Anyway, they had to fight some dragons, and Stark faced them up close, and Frieren and Fern used magic from far away, and it was a good little bit of fighting. They had to fight, they fought a bunch of dragons. They won. It was okay. Stark did get hurt a little bit. That is not unusual for Stark. He gets hurt. That is unfortunately part of his MO. In the present, or back out of the there, and they find a lake, the largest body of water in the northern plateau where they are. But the weather is fucked. The weather is not good. So they decide they're going to rest. They're gonna seek shelter, and they're gonna ride out the bad weather for a bit. And basically they're just like, shit, we're gonna have to wait a while, like a couple months at least, before we can do anything. So eventually, time passes. We don't really need to watch that time pass, but time passes. There is a ferry that takes them across the lake because it wouldn't run in other weather, but they do not have money. They have run out of their funds because they didn't earn money along the way because they were stuck. So they had to work for a favor. And the captain, we just talked about Himmel's memoirs. Apparently, there is a version of the memoirs on a nearby island. And he's like, can you get that? There's a barrier that protects it. So Frieren breaks the barrier, And Frieren reads the memoirs first to kind of just have a moment, momentarily reminisce, and then passes them on. But the ferryman says, I recognized you. I know you're from the hero's party. I'd like you to keep the memoirs. That to me is payment. And it's lovely. It's just a lovely moment in this fucking episode of good times with Frieren and crew. Also, they fight a kraken as they cross the episode ends with them whipping a kraken's ass, which is fucking great. And that ruin the moment? No, because that's part of the adventure. That's part of the hero's journey. They're on the clock even when it's moments of respite and loveliness. But god damn it, Frieren the show, Frieren the character of course, but also Frieren the show just whips so much goddamn ass. It's just so beautiful and cool as hell. It's such a lovely slow burn. Somebody was talking the other day, and I realized that I did not need to be a part of this conversation, so I chose not to. But they were talking about how they saw clips of characters from Frieren later in the arc, in like the mage, the first class mage arc. And so they started watching the show because of clips of these characters. And they were like, these characters aren't there. And there's so much exposition in the show. And like nothing happens in episodes. And it's just like, I didn't write anything. Someone else wrote. You will never like Frieren. You can stop now. Because yeah, maybe a different version of that person in a different time will. But if you do not like the journey, if you do not like some exposition, if you do not like flashbacks that apply to what's happening in the moment, then Frieren is not for you. And there's so much anime out there that might be. But it's not going to be Frieren. And that's fucking okay. Last night, a question was posed in a Discord anime channel. If Initial D would be better if Takumi wasn't the main character. And it was instead the guy who runs the Red Suns. And I said, my point was, the best part of Initial D is learning about street racing. And you wouldn't learn about street racing with the guy that has the fucking genius mind for street racing. You learn it by the guy who inadvertently was trained to be a great downhill racer by his dad, who is just doing his part-time job of delivering tofu, and learns about the world of racing by getting wrapped up in it. That's the fucking point of Initial D. Also, the Red Suns don't have any stupid dumbasses in the group that are to give levity, like the gas station guys, the other gas station bros, which are there for levity. And it's like, you would get fucking bored of the Red Suns anime. And then, that's my opinion on that. But then someone said, any character would be a better character than Takumi because he's just so boring. And it's just like, oh, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but okay. It's not worth getting mad about. I'm getting a little heated right now because it's my stream and I can talk about it here. But in the moment, I realized, well, that's just nonsense. Like, is he silent for a lot of stuff? Is he affected by the world more than he affects the world? Certainly at the beginning of Initial D. Later on, especially when he starts being aggressive about wanting to race, when he starts to lose and he thinks he could do better and he could get better at racing, that it becomes more than just, oh, I need to understand the rules here or how to respond. It's like, no, I need to grow. That stuff he's more affected. But beginning of the series, he is affected by things. He is a force of nature. And it's fucking cool. I don't know. It bummed me out because I was just like, man, I don't know. I imagine that at least one of those people really likes MF Ghost because MF Ghost takes all the cool parts of Initial D out of it and just focuses on the race parts and also being awful to women. The least good part of Initial D. MF Ghost says, what if it's a lot of our show is our characters being fucking gross and weird? And like you start to think, oh, they have something to say about this. And it's like, no, they don't. They don't have anything to say about it. They're just putting it in there. I don't watch MF Ghost because I think it's bad. It bummed me out. I wanted MF Ghost to be cool. I was like, they'll change some stuff from the manga. They'll make it more presentable and more fun. They did not do that. They just made it. They just made MF Ghost. It's a bummer. They care more about... They don't even fucking care that the main character isn't 100% Japanese and from Japan, which should be unbelievably important to the world. It should be important to all those characters. And it's mostly just an excuse that he drives differently than other people do because he learned how to drive in a different country. It's just like, oh man, God fucking damn it. This could have so much to say, and it just fucking doesn't. I didn't expect to talk about MF Ghost. Also, it often looks fucking terrible, and that's a real shame because Initial D never looked amazing, but it was trying something. It was on the bleeding edge of stuff. Anyway, MF Ghost is a disappointment. It's got several seasons. If you want to watch it, you can. Episode 11. Again, there is a war happening, and our boy has been maybe conscripted to go into the war. We're trying to figure that out right now. Our guy Van, but they're helping out. There is another country that's invading. They go to they meet up, and Van, our guy, who because he did not know, because he did not inherit a gift of like fire magic. He was disowned and sent off to run a dinky little territory, which he has made thrive, and he is doing cool stuff because his creation magic is overpowered, and also he's overpowered because, as I mentioned before, the thing that was very funny about that was like this was a childhood genius. Like he's good at using magic, and he has a huge mana pool, so he can do things other creation magicians can't do. But anyway, he meets up with his dad, who dismisses him and like doesn't believe that he's had anything. He's basically calls his son a liar, that he's taking credit for slaying a dragon. It's just like, no, I'm doing great. Panamera, the night soldier woman who kicks ass, shows up. She's like, hey, I want to buy more of your weapons. Like totally ignores Jalpa, the father. They go and meet with the king, and also we meet Arut's father. Arut is the girl that has her magic is weird. It's the mannequin magic where she can control inanimate objects with great effect, and has been very useful previously. We have seen, and we meet her father, Court Ferdinando. He seems pretty good. He seems like he's gonna get along with Van. He at least acknowledges like this 10-year-old has some smart things that they're saying. So it seems like those two might get along, which would be good because father-in-law and all that. Basically, there is a conversation happening about like, hey, I got to protect my territory. They're doing a widespread attack against various locations. They've got these wyverns, and they're dropping these weird black bomb things. Like, you're not ready for that. I've got ways to counteract that. And so the king is impressed with the strategy that Van comes up with, and the new weapons that he's got. But basically, he's just like, I want to be support. I think we need to strategize that because other places are going to get attacked with this. And that other country is trying to conquer other places. And he's like, I have ballista, and basically instantly makes a catapult and a ballista to showcase what he can do. His dad doesn't buy it, doesn't buy that this stuff would be helpful, continues to belittle his son, which is just, again, he's just showing how much of a dumbass he is because the fucking king of his country is like, this kid rules. A rut means meets with her father, and we learn a little bit about, or she learns, we don't really learn it, but she learns the status of her mother, what's going on with that. There's more going on with a rut, unfortunately. Van has Till stay with a rut, and they go to allies to figure out how to deal with the wyverns. They reclaim the area that they've been fighting for, using shields that Van made to help block attacks, because Van, again, is an Isekai character, has ideas from of technology that will help and the means to create them. Wyverns show up. They counter with catapults and take out the wyverns. There's a large wyvern, and they all work. This takes a little bit of the episode. They all work together to whoop that wyvern's ass, and they succeed in doing that. Oh, sorry, I gotta do all this one arm here. I don't need these here. I thought I was doing two things at once. Apparently, I'm gonna now build all of an arm together and then build the other arm. So I took polycaps that I didn't need. Now I can continue to work on this. Sometimes you build parts of the arms at the same time, and sometimes you build them separately. And I misunderstood that. So I need 6. They manage to the forces they're fighting surrender. They get their commander. Van's dad leaves without talking to Van, but he's starting to maybe understand after witnessing it, like, shit, maybe my son is pretty awesome at this whole thing. And he's starting to maybe understand that he was wrong. Not fully, but he's starting to wonder. They interrogate the commander and find out that there are 3 places that the foreign country Yelenetta is trying to conquer at once. And one of them is Ferdinando County, which is where a rut is from. And that's where her mother is. So, fuck, this is going to be the last episode. And again, this is stuff I left off in the manga with the war meeting and not the aftermath. So I didn't know about the big wyvern. I didn't know about finding out that the cliffhanger that we've got going in, that a rut's mother it could be in danger. So we got to get that shit taken care of. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to next week wrapping it up. I will have not watched episode 12 by the time I record Pat Bear's Anime Club Live, which is next Tuesday. And I would invite you to join me for that. That's going to be next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. It'll be me wrapping up my thoughts on this current season, overall thoughts, and then also looking forward to the new season, our spring season, which is coming, which is going to have some cool anime, and I'll talk about that on Tuesday. It is generally, those Tuesday streams are a lot of fun. I enjoy conversing with you all about shows. And sometimes there's a show I didn't watch, and then people will be like, yeah, man, you got to watch the second core of Genosha. It fucking rules, or whatever. Or stuff like that. And there are shows that I watch that I don't talk about on these here streams that I'm still enjoying. So, like, I'll be able to talk about them at length on there. Because, you know, I got one romance show this season, another one that is like not really romance. It's sort of romance, but not really. And so, like, there are others that I'm watching, some of which are even romantic comedies, if you can believe that. And I'm having a good time with those, so... we'll talk more at length on Tuesday. Now is the part of the stream where I want to hear from you, friends. What are you watching right now? What are you playing? What are you up to? What are you into? What have you got going on? I always love hearing from you about those things and things. So feel free to jump into the chat and let me know what you got going on, what you're up to, so that I can chat with you about those things. I have been working on a deck that is very stupid in Hearthstone that I love. It is a wild deck. It is an OTK deck. It does require, unfortunately, 11 mana, but it is not hard to do that. And it is a... I've had to, like, craft some legendaries to finish it, but I think it's pretty perfect. It takes a long time for the OTK to go off, but I think it's worth it. It is a warrior deck that I really like. Not this coming Tuesday, because that'll be the Anime Club, but the last Tuesday of the month, I will be doing a stream and I will showcase that deck. I have to tweak it a little bit. There's some tweaking that needs to happen with this very silly deck that I am doing. It's got a lot of draw, and it can keep, like, there is ways to keep yourself alive with it. Basically, you need the problem I've run into more than anything with this new deck is that sometimes my opponents don't clear my board, and I kind of need my side of the board to be clear. So sometimes I have to wait for a way to clear it and then play the new thing. And then play, I should say, my silly strategy. So that's been a little weird. But otherwise, it's a silly deck that I like a lot. I'm trying to look for more. There is like a new Evolve card in Shaman, and I love Evolve Shaman, but it's only one. So I feel like they're probably going to add more stuff to support it in later expansions this year. So right now, I'm like, oh man, I want to make Evolve Shaman work, but it doesn't work at all. I haven't made use of any of these new Herald cards, the Cataclysm cards that have Herald, 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 that Herald, not Herald, Herald. And I'm trying to like make one of those decks work for how I like to play, and I have been unable to. So I am going to try. I'm going to try to figure out how to make this deck work. Because as I've said, I do have a deck that I am desperately trying to make happen, and I am fucking like not making it work. So that's Hearthstone. I played Helldivers 2 today, and it was really fun. I got up from my nap and saw that there were some people in my my crew that were the multiplayer crew that I hang out with that were like, hey, we're doing this and we're playing today if people want to play. And so I played some Helldivers 2 with the crew, and it was very fun because it turns out I still think that Helldivers 2 is a great video game that I enjoy playing with friends. So I did that, and that was nice. A couple of my friends are playing Marathon, and they are very into Marathon. And I have considered, I can't say for sure that I'm going to do it, but there has been a consideration being made that perhaps I will get Marathon. Again, don't know if that's going to happen. I have been thinking about it, maybe getting in a Marathon. I'm not really an extraction shooter guy, but my friends are having a good time with it. And it seems like there'll be games to play if I choose to do it. So I might do it. I don't know. What have you all been up to? Okay, so Mjon says, been playing this incremental game that's new on Steam called Scritchy Scratchy. And I recently watched this live action bootleg Dragon Ball movie called Dragon Ball The Magic Begins. That movie is terrible. As Lashbrook says, I should say, I was surprised to learn that movie actually got a mid-2000s remaster with CGI. Yes, that movie is terrible. And then at one point, someone had the rights to that movie and added a bunch of bad CGI to make it, quote-unquote, better. And it's just differently bad. It is like wonderfully terrible. It is a fun to watch bad movie. Dragon Ball The Magic Begins is an amazing, terrible movie. Indeed. It is a fun, bad movie. You're right. The CGI really changes the game of the movie. Yes, it takes it to another level of this is bad. John's, yes, as I was version. Oh, sorry, she changed this. And then Dirty says, I started building roads in Death Stranding today. Hell yeah. Death Stranding 1 or 2. And finished an audiobook, thinking about listening to the Dresden books since they're all narrated by James Marsters. Hell yeah. And Laura Crashton says, I returned to One Piece after finishing the live action show, where I'm in the middle of Dressrosa. Look, Dressrosa is fucking long. It is a long arc, but I really love it. I really love Dressrosa. I had to look up how much more I had to go with this arc, and it's about 80 episodes, which was rough to see. It feels like things are starting to get out of hand, so I don't know what's going to take so long. Dirty's playing through the first Death Stranding. Nice. So, Lord Crashington, there's just a lot of show. There's a lot of characters and a lot of arcs, and the battle, once things... So, first off, it takes a long time before things kick off. But things don't just kick off for Luffy. They kick off for a lot of characters. And no battle in Dressrosa is short. Every battle takes its time and allows for chances to breathe and change. And allows for characters to be fucking badass and cool. And deal with stuff. It is a long arc. It is maybe too long in the goofiness before it starts getting into stuff. But I really like Dressrosa. There's some real weird moments in there and some real good surprises in Dressrosa. So, hell yeah. There's a lot. I have not seen this new season of One Piece live action. I will. I do not have Netflix at the moment. I am getting Netflix because there's something that my mom wants to watch. So I will get Netflix for the house soon. And when we get Netflix for it, I will go and I will watch the One Piece live action. Because as I said, I don't have it right now. I let it go when after Ranma 2025 season 2 when that ended. I was like, okay, I'm going to take a break from the show. Or from Netflix. I'll take a Netflix break and then I'll come back when the time is right. And the time has not been right, but the time will be right. And I'll watch more of that. I almost got it. I almost just got it, but I'm waiting for basically next month. Because, like, obviously adaptations and all that. And I'm starting to get messages from like, see things of like, did you notice this hidden thing? Did you notice this? And I'm like, no, I didn't, because I didn't watch it yet. Get out of here. But it's okay. That's to be expected, because I am not watching it as it happens. There we go. That hand didn't come together in a way that I wanted it to. But yeah, I will see the live action. I'm looking forward to it. All right, we got an arm done. I got to panel line this arm, so that'll happen next time. The marathon unlocked in Marathon, so I've been playing a bunch to get ready for doing that tomorrow. Nice. Yeah, as I said, I am tempted. I have not come into temptation. I'm not given into temptation, I should say, but I am tempted. We got a lot done on the GM3. We got the head done. We got the backpack. We got the chest. We got one whole arm that needs to be panel lined. Don't get me wrong. I got to panel line this first, but I'll panel line it and then put it on there, then build the other arm. And then the next step on Monday's stream will be working on the feet and then the legs and then the waist and the side skirts and the weapons and the shields. And that's it. We will not finish on Monday, but we will definitely finish on Thursday. I would love to see live action get to Dressrosa to see how people react to the revelations about the toys. It's a lot. There's a lot. I don't know how far live action will go, but because diminishing returns, Netflix cares about that stuff a lot. So who knows? Now is the part of the stream where we are going to wrap things up. We are going to go and raid, because that is how we end every stream here. We always end with a raid. We're going to go find someone doing cool stuff, and we're going to go hang out with them. Oops, what happened there? How do I mute? Hold on. There it is. That's the button I need. Sorry. OBS update confused me. We always end with a raid, as John says. Yes, we're going to go find someone doing cool stuff, go see what they're up to, go hang out with them. I encourage you to come along on this raid, because I always raid people that are fun and doing fun stuff. Or like an always-on channel that is neat. Sometimes I will raid those. How long has this friend been going? Liz has only been going for 6.5 hours, so we're going to go raid my friend Liz over at Liz Star, because I know they have longer to go. That 6.5 hours is not a long stream for them, which is crazy. But that is how they live, and I respect their dedication to doing long ass Saturday streams. Please come along on this stream. Reminder: Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, I continue working on this kit. I hope you will come to that. Hope you come along on the raid, of course. But come back on Monday as I continue working on this and I start talking about other anime stuff and hanging out with you and having good times. There'll be some manga talk, of course. Thank you all so much for being here. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.